Hello everyone, welcome to another Friday Live. Okay. So today I'm going to play with some pattern paper. Done a little bit of prep work. I'm going to be playing with pattern paper, so I kind of came up with some ideas. Ignore that. That was my video from Monday or Tuesday, I think it was went up. So these are my pattern paper ideas, and I've planned them. So I don't know if you can tell. Let me zoom in. But this is basically the plan for today. So you're going to get a sneak peek. So we're going to do some pattern paper piecing, and we're going to cut out a heart and put it on a card. And then we're also going to save the piece where we cut the heart out of, and we're going to use that on a second card. And then these two cards are paired together, and we're going to do a full pattern piecing again. And this time we're going to cut a really simple strip, and we're going to use the top and bottom over here. So we're going to get 4 cards out of 2 like paper piecing patterns. It's a great way to get the most bang for your buck and also just like play with a lot of paper. The first one that we're going to be using is Perfectly Plaid Remix from Fawn. The other pack I'm going to be using, and this one is for sure, there's no choice on this one, is a Simple Stories Wood and Gingham Basics. Hello? I need to use some paper. There's 180 sheets in here. I'm just gonna cut this sticker right here because I can't open it up to see all of them right now because the sticker on each side. But seriously, how could I resist this paper pad? There's so many. And the patterns are great, like from what I could see, because I couldn't open it up all the way. And we're gonna pick, I think, about 4 patterns from each group. Here's generally what I do. This is naturally how I pick papers out, but this is sort of a rule. And I think I may have shared this on a YouTube video like years ago. But basically, if you're going to have, let's say 4 patterns like we're picking today, this usually helps me when I pick out groups. So we're gonna do that today. We need one that is more solid. It doesn't have to be completely solid, but more solid. So something like this right here, I would consider more solid because there's not a lot of busy pattern going through it. The next one I usually look for is a smaller pattern. I'm gonna just write that in, smaller pattern. And you know what? This could be different than what I've said in the past. This is what I'm feeling at the moment. Smaller pattern, we're gonna go with a larger pattern, and then we're gonna go for a star of the show, which is basically you're looking for something that has a lot of color, or it has a big pattern, or it's just, you know, it's gonna be the star of the show, basically, right? Okay, so more solid, smaller, larger, and star of show. Sometimes it's easier to start with the star of the show. In fact, looking at this, it might be hard because they're all, you know, here's your small pattern, here's your big pattern. Where's the star of the show? We might have to pull in another pattern from somewhere. So here are our 4 patterns. We might come back to this when we assemble the card, but for now, here are our 4 patterns. And this one, because every single pattern is plaid, we might have to like throw in some solids, maybe from that other paper pad. So we've got this one right here. And what we're gonna do is just start cutting a bunch of strips. And they can be all thin, all big, whatever you want. Well, because I have a lot to choose from here. I think I might have to cut a wider yellow one though, because there's like no wide yellow ones. And about like that. All right. And I'm gonna slide these off to the side, and we're gonna cut the other group of pattern paper right now while we're thinking about it. So this multicolor one, most definitely star of the show. So I'm gonna make sure I have nice wide strips of it, but also some smaller ones too. And you know what? Maybe we'll do this one at a diagonal just because the other ones aren't. Except for that star of the show one. Okay, so at a diagonal. And then straight up and down. Just start cutting a bunch of these strips. All right, we'll set these aside and we're gonna start in on this one. So what we need to do, we need to pick a piece of scratch paper or just any paper that is larger than our card size will be. And I think I'm gonna have one set of cards be 5 by 7 and one set of cards be A2, so 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Altenew double-sided adhesive sheets. All right, I've never used these. Oh, okay, there we go. All right, so now the adhesive is exposed. So I'm going to take my cardstock, put that down. And then I'm going to put this one right, well, not quite right next to it, but down like that. And I'm just going to use my scissors to trim away the excess of the adhesive sheet. Ooh, that's very sticky. Wish I could salvage this one little piece of the adhesive sheet, but I don't know if I'll be able to. I think I'll have the smaller one be the one we're working on first. I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to really press down that adhesive sheet. Melissa Miller, this is my first time using them. So she's asking if the Altenew adhesive sheets are similar to Stick It. I would say yes so far. The Altenew have a little more sturdiness to them, but from what I can tell, they're pretty much very similar. They're adhesive sheets. Okay, let's get these grouped back. Let's start with a yellow piece just right across the middle. So now that we've covered the entire exposed adhesive surface, now I can turn it over and actually, no, I have this other ruler. We'll use this other ruler. My T-square ruler is missing. I took it downstairs in the kitchen to do shelf lining, shelf liner paper. Okay. So I'm just going to cut right along this edge. Oh, and my blade moved a little. That's okay. I'm planning to die cut this later, so it won't matter. One of the main reasons that you want to do like an adhesive sheet or cover your entire piece of paper with adhesive before you put all the papers on is because when you start die cutting, you don't entirely know where the die cut edges will be on the pattern, and you don't want things to like fall apart. So here's our DIY pattern paper that we made ourselves. That does come off fairly easy. And I think because, yeah, I'm gonna do diagonals again because I think that's just fun. So I'm gonna start with a nice thick pattern once again, maybe have a little more near this end. Here we go. Oh, that's cute. It's very almost quilt-like. So here, are our two patterns that we've created. Like I said, one's going to be an A7 card and the other will be A2. So the first thing we're going to do is die cut these down to the correct size. I'll just tape that in a couple spots. I tape the die and then to the outside. That helps, you know, so this doesn't stick too much. All right, just a reminder, for this card right here, we're cutting out that heart right there. This one needs to go right in the center. So essentially we're cutting this right now because this is the one that goes, you know, all the way around. So I have my nested heart dies from Simon Says Stamp. That one looks like it's gonna be perfect. People are talking about postage for A7 cards. As long as your card is not too thick, it is the exact same postage. Okay, so I'm going to run this through my die cutting machine. Let me cut out the heart. We can remove the heart die, and then we're left with this behind. Isn't that cute? Let me just pull that outer edge away and take the die off. There wasn't much for the tape to hold on to on the outer edge, so I mostly taped the project itself. Okay, we need to cut some hearts for this color pattern. So I think I like this right here. All right, and then the teal. I think we'll just, let's see, what wood grain pattern do we want? I think I like that right there. Oh no, it's like really stuck. Come on, pop up. There we go. I had to use scissors. The 5x7 I can start putting together right away. I'm gonna grab some foam adhesive. Okay. I'm going to use my grid mat here. I'm lining up my card base. And then as I start, I'm taking note that it's on that line. I'm going to try to line it up on the other side with that same line. And then cut off the excess. And then we can put that heart right on top. How cute are these like little plaid gingham hearts? And the patterns, I'm loving them because they kind of look a little bit homespun to me, or like a quilt, something like that. Okay. So cute. All right, we're gonna work on this one now. It had like a center area cut out, so I'm gonna do that now. There we go. Okay, I do not recall which direction this was going. Was it this way or this way? I think it was this way. Put that one right at the bottom. All right, and like I did before, I'm gonna line up my card base on my mat and kind of watch for lining it up. Perfect. This one's going to go right on top here. I want to have it on foam adhesive, so I'm going to put just one strip of foam adhesive right across the bottom. And then I'm going to do a double layer across the top of the heart because it doesn't have that, you know, that other one underneath. So now it should lay completely flat once I put it on. There we go. And it's really flat. All right. And right in the center. So for sentiments on all four of these cards, I've chosen some sentiment strips from Simon Says Stamp. This is the reverse All Things Happy. Can you see how many, how many of these I have? Because I was going through them so fast. There's like birthday, anniversary, happy Easter. There's a bunch of different ones on here. So I think I'll use this happy birthday that's up here. And I can use my ruler and my craft knife to cut these out. I use these all the time. I've done a lot of cards like this recently. It's sort of my go-to. It's just, they're so easy. There's a little happy birthday. And these sentiment strips make it so easy as well. I think this happy birthday friend could go all the way across that heart. So let's do that. And I'll just adhere it on each side. So when I adhere strips like this, I like to use the Darice narrow strips. This one's already cut to pretty much the perfect length. I'm just going to put just the center because this is spanning the heart. And I'll put just a little adhesive on each end. And then I can come in here and go right across the heart. So cute. I love that. Okay. And when I'm doing little strips like this, I like to make them just a little bit wonky. So it's not quite straight. I think it looks cute. How cute is that? All right, so here are the 4 cards for today. I will be back, probably not on Monday because it's the holiday weekend, probably Tuesday with a new card. Until then, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm so glad you guys tuned in for a little bit, and I will see you guys very soon. Thanks for watching.